is Lenny Tweeden for This Is Our Story from Out of the Past. Today we're in the schoolroom of the Pioneer Museum. I'm going to visit with Helen Gould, and she's going to tell us about the history of the Fairmont Public Schools. And Helen, tell us a little bit about yourself first.
Okay, as you said, my name is Helen Gould, and I'm born in Fairmont. I graduated from Fairmont High School. I've been serving on the Fairmont School Board for about 26 years, so I have a very strong interest in our school system.
And you should have pretty good knowledge about public schools in Fairmont.
I think so.
Okay, we're going to take a look at some pictures. And first of all, we're looking at some buildings. Can you say something about these buildings, maybe the past history of these?
Sure. The first picture that you see has 3 buildings on it. And these 3 buildings were located on Park and Blue Earth Avenue. And the very first graduating class was in 1889 with 12 members, and they graduated from the school at that location. The district was actually formed in 1862 when the county commissioners formed our district, and it was called District Number 1.
And the first school is located in the same area where Central School or Presentation College
Yes,
is now?
that's right. And so then they ended up building a new high school in 1900 on that same block, which is the picture you see later there by itself. And then it later became the junior high when there was a new high school built that is on the 2nd Street and Prairie Avenue. And then that one became the junior high, as I said, when that became the senior high.
And then moving on, we see what looks like where Presentation College is located now?
That's true. No, that isn't. That's the school that you see there is the one that was burned down.
All right, that's the one that doesn't exist anymore.
Right, and was the high school from 1915 to 1969.
Okay. Then we'll move on to the building that's where Presentation College is located.
That's right. Then after they added a junior high onto that senior high that was on 2nd Street and Prairie, and then took down all 3 of the buildings, and we now have what became Central School and is currently Presentation College. So, and that served as a central school until it became an administrative building in the 70s, and then in 2004, the city bought it and remodeled it into the current Presentation College.
All right, let's move on to the other buildings. These look like...
Actually, this building that shows all these composites of pictures in the upper left-hand corner is the first grade school, which was Lincoln School, and that was built on North Avenue, and it stayed in existence until 1949, and then it became the Lincoln Annex when the new Lincoln School was built, and then in 1974, it became was purchased by the Alcoholics Anonymous group. So that's still it, and now it's been purchased by someone who is remodeling and maybe turning it into a bed and breakfast or something exciting. But that next picture, though, is that Lincoln School building, which was built in 1949 and then replaced that early Lincoln School, which was the first one.
Okay, and the next one
is William Budd School, and they were actually both built about the same time because it was actually kind of a controversy. William Budd was planned to be built first, and some people felt that they needed a new school also then on the north side, and so they were both built at the bond issue was approved for both. And so it was about 49, 50, they weren't all finished at the same time, and they were neighborhood schools, so there was Central Neighborhood School for K through 6, Lincoln K through 6, and Budd K through 6. And currently Budd is just for K through 2nd grade.
Yeah, the architecture looks very similar in both of those buildings.
Same time frame, so they were.
All right, the next picture is of what is currently Five Lakes Elementary.
Yes, and it was built, first of all, as a high school. In 1957, the first class graduated from that school. And then that old high school that was on the 2nd and Prairie became a junior high. And then we had the infamous fire in 1970, and so that junior high building was burned, and it was required to have 2 sessions of school at that one that you saw.
This is a shot of the fire, or the
Yeah.
results of the fire?
The top part of it shows things hanging from the building from the fire, and the lower picture, if you look in the front, it shows all those temporary buildings that had to be added onto Victoria School to hold
sure.
classes. So that's what you're seeing down there. And so
Sure.
they had senior high met from 7 in the morning till noon, and junior high met from noon until 5. Some people kind of liked that arrangement after they got used to
Suppose
it.
would open the door for some kids that maybe wanted to work
Sure.
part of the time.
Right.
Sure. Okay, next it looks like the dedication of the high school in 1972.
Right. Actually, it was dedicated in 73. They probably started working on it in 72. But
Okay.
and this auditorium was a rather state-of-the-art auditorium at the time, and it holds 1,000 people. And the city felt that we needed a very good auditorium also, because the only other auditorium was in the school that was burned down. So there was
Sure.
a lot of support for having a very fine auditorium. And that school is still in existence. It started to be for 9 through 12, and then they added 8 through 12, and currently it's 7 through 12 out there. And
It's evolved over time.
in 1992, Ceylon joined at Fairmont, and their students have also been a very welcome addition into that high school. So thank you very much for this opportunity.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for watching. This is Lenny Tweeden for Our Story from Out of the Past.